There's another concept that the bill introduced. That's the establishment of the National Sports Tribunal, right? Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think that it's in a position to effectively sort of resolve disputes between various stakeholders in the Indian sporting ecosystem? And also, are there any experiences from other sectors that we can learn from?
Yeah, certainly India has, especially in the post-liberalization era, we've seen tribunals set up for various sectors. The Securities Appellate Tribunal for decisions that are passed by SEBI or the Securities Exchange Board of India. Similarly, you have the telecom dispute, appellate tribunal or TDSAT for any orders passed by the TRA, the National Consumer Disputes Redressal Commission. Clearly, there are no dearth of tribunals from where the legislators could learn from as well. I think the experience of tribunals has been mixed. I was actually reading that in the case of the SAT, for example, when it was staffed adequately, the backlog was less. But when it was not staffed adequately, the backlog obviously has grown, right? And so it really depends on, it's again good to have the concept of the National Sports Tribunal. I think what will really determine the success or lack of it is how much of an investment the government will make in staffing the tribunal with the right kind of personnel, with the right kind of experience, the right kind of values to make sure that they are fair to all stakeholders in the sector. At the end of the day, the tribunal is an umpire, right? And if you don't have a fair umpire, you will still end up seeing cases from the tribunal eventually land up at the Supreme Court, as is contemplated by the legislation as well. And to me, if that happens, that is actually unfortunate, because I personally believe constitutional courts, such as the Supreme Court of India, should not be burdened with disputes between stakeholders which can otherwise be settled by a tribunal. So I think, again, laudable to have a fair umpire to come and take the burden away from courts. I know the other argument to this is that currently all these selection disputes and election disputes are all landing up at the doorstep of various high courts in the country as well. Fair enough. I think that will reduce the burden from those judicial bodies. But if you don't staff the tribunal here, the ends of justice will not be served. I think while in the larger scheme of things, sporting disputes or sports governing body disputes are not as critical as, say, fundamental rights litigation, whether it's a habeas corpus litigation or, say, a right to life litigation, etc., or public interest litigations for various other matters as well. Equally, it is important for a sports person to make sure that the disputes are resolved very, very quickly, because many of these are time sensitive disputes. And player's career may hinge on whether he or she is able to participate in a particular tournament or not, right? Especially if it's something like the Olympics or the Asian Games, which comes about once in 4 years. If that chance is gone, that's gone forever. So with that perspective in mind, I would say that it's a welcome step to have the National Sports Tribunal. But again, as I said before, with all other concepts as well, the proof of the pudding can only be seen in the eating of the pudding.